Practices class at Columbia University in the fall in the MFA program. I also I lecture widely about this process, about professional practices. I also do workshops for another organization that you might want to know about, which is called the Creative Capital Foundation. And they come out of the Andy Warhol Foundation, and they provide project-based support to artists in all disciplines nationally. And that as a project, came out of the Andy Warhol Foundation because the NEA was no longer providing grants, individual grants to artists. Now you guys aren't quite ready for creative capital. You probably are going to have to be out a while and establish a bit of a track record to be competitive, but keep them in your radar. They're really interested in innovative work, and I know there's got to be some wonderful innovative work here. So that sounds like I'm out there yakking all the time, and I do quite a bit of that. But you know, really, I am a full-time practicing artist, and have been making a living as an artist from my studio practice for 21 years now. And I'm married to a painter. We raised two sons in the middle of studios. You know, we lived Tribeca loft downtown New York, and basically, when you get two artists in a loft, you take as much space as you can for studio space, and all the other living gets around the edges, the margins. So that's how we've been doing it. Now, and what's really exciting, my kids are grown up now. My oldest son is 26, and he's a neuroscientist, so he has a creative practice, just like his parents. And he's right now working on the conversion of short-term memory to long-term memory out at UC Irvine for his doctorate. And my younger son is 21, so he's an undergraduate. He's at Northeastern University, and he's a composer. He's my artist. And he's very savvy. He's doing a great job up there with his work as well. We put our children through college on art. Every month, when the tuition bill arrives, so does art income. It is really possible to live your life as an artist. However, and my husband's a painter. He's the kind of artist who 24/7, he's very happy in his studio, and he's opened up his life just enough to let his wife and kids in. And me, I'm much too gregarious. If I was just in the studio all the time, I would go nuts. I need people. And so this is how I get to be with people. So I think that, you know, often as you go, I know this isn't about the grant, but I just want to assure you that the hybrid career, the idea of, you know, figuring out what's your skill set, you know, wider range besides whatever medium or whatever discipline that you are graduating from with RISD. Think about the skill set in a broader term, you know, maybe writing, translation, you know, installing, learn something about the world that you're going into by working in that world. So if it's fine arts and you want a gallery career head, you know, go work in that business and see what it's like from various points of view. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't spend an intensive period of time, nearly a decade, working within the art world of New York City and seeing life from lots of different viewpoints. So that taught me a lot about how to navigate, how I can navigate the art world on my own terms. None of you will have the same kind of career. You'll all proceed at different rates. Some of you will be fast at the starting gate, and it looks like everything's going well. You know, an art career is a roller coaster ride. There's ups and there's downs. So that's why I just wrote a 400-page book. You know, unlike Patty, I hate to write. But I have so much, and I really do, but I have so much information, and I've been teaching professional practices to emerging artists and students for 18 years now. And I could never talk to enough of you, you know? So I needed to find another way to get information out there. And there wasn't a really good, solid book for visual, and I have to say, my book is really focused on visual artists, but all disciplines of visual artists, and actually people are buying it for their musician children and for other disciplines as well. But it really is about life skills that you need to make things work for you. Because you guys already, you know, you've already solved the hard stuff. You know, You've already solved the hard part of anything you need to do for the rest of your life, and that's because you've figured out how to take an idea, a notion, a vision that you have and turn it into something tangible. You have that creative process. You realize most of the world can't do that. So you're already up. Everything else that we're going to talk about today, everything that's in my 400 bloody pages of that book, you know what that stuff is? That's just stuff that you can learn. That's stuff that you just need to practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the RISD grant. We're going to talk a little bit about practicing today. So that's a little bit about me. I'd like to know a little bit about who's in this room. So how many of you are, I guess let's talk about disciplines. How many of you are going to be applying for the fine arts part of the grant? Okay, so that's a lot. And are most of you, how many of you are second years? And how many of you are first years in the fine arts? Okay, great. And how many of you are applying in architecture, landscape architecture too? And how about, I know you guys, the rest of the people didn't think I had anything to say. We'll shut them off. And how many of you are in, what's my third category? Sorry.
It's design.
Design, thank you.
Design graphic.
Pat is here to cue me. So how many are you in design? One. Is that a 3-year or 2-year?
Somewhere between 2.
Okay. So and how many are you about to graduate? Okay. How about, in general, let me see, a show of hands, how many of you are going to be leaving RISD, well, graduating in, what's it, May? Okay, good. That gives me a sense. Thank you, thank you. Okay, good. So, I know that you don't feel this way at this moment, and it's okay if you never feel this way, but I just want to tell you that RISD is giving you an amazing opportunity by making you go through this process. Because for the rest of your life, there is going to be times when you're going to be applying for grants, or you're going to be applying for fellowships, or a Guggenheim, or the American Academy in Rome, or you're going to be doing a presentation for city planners. You're going to be doing these things. And so beginning to understand the process of clearly articulating with some clarity what you're proposing, what it is that you want to do, providing the right kind of documentation that shows to whomever you need to get this award from that you can do it, that you have promise, and putting together a really good budget that actually enables you to do it. These are really important life skills that you're going to need throughout your career. And so right now, you get a chance to practice it. What this grant application will be, think of it like this. It's just a snapshot of your studio practice at this particular time. Any grant proposal is kind of like this real quick, just a photo, a quick snapshot of something that where you are right now. Or maybe, and then if it's a project-based grant, accompanied by a proposal of where you'd like to be. Applying for grants is part of promoting your work. Applying for all sorts of opportunities.